On the Haag-Streit new style Chinrest, sometimes the Fixation PCB circuit board will need to be replaced. If you hooked up an LED fixation to your power supply and it had the jumper on it, then that would have given too much amperage for the fixation, and it could have blown out your fixation. Always remember, if you have an LED, make sure you do not have the jumper on there so that the voltage will go through the resistor and knock down the amps. But if you had to replace the LED circuit board, you would take off the swivel arm first. You might want to notice the path of the wires when you take it apart. Look, draw pictures, or take a picture or whatever to remember the path of the wires. This is going around this way. It's going to go in a clockwise position. Coming out of here, it's going to go clockwise, your wire. So try to remember that. And we'll unhook this little connector here. Now, this is the plug on the end of the wire. If you don't have a new plug, you're going to have to use this one again. And you'll have to take these pins out of this plug. Now, the circuit board is in here. It travels the wire through here, and you'll have to pull these pieces apart. And to get this out, you'll have to take off. There's a screw, and then underneath there is a pressure spring, and then underneath that is they call it a braking sleeve, but it's like a stop pin, and you'll have to take those out. And here's what they look like. Here's the springs, really small, and the stop pin, the braking sleeve they call it, has a little hole in it, and that will enable you to stick something like a needle file to stick in it, turn it so you can pull it out. So I've already done that on this one. I've taken out the screw and the spring and the sleeve, so now I can pull this out. And then the same way on this body has to come out. You can see the PC board inside. We're going to have to take this off. So here also there's a screw, a spring, and a braking sleeve or pin that you'll have to take out. And once again, it'll have a hole in it. You can stick your needle file in there, turn it to try to tighten it, and pull it out. And once you get that out, then you can pull this body off, and it exposes the PCB board. And If you have a new plug, you could just cut those wires off and then pull your wire through. But if you don't, you'll have to separate those pins from the plug. This is what the little pins look like that are in here. There's a flat edge, but it has a little lip. This pin, here's the wire, it has a little hook, and that's going to have to be pushed down to be able to retract the pin out of the plug. That little hook has to be pushed down so that you can retrieve the wire outside of the... And here's another one. We'll just demonstrate. Get the wire out. We'll get something with a point on it. And there's only one place you can get to it, and that's where the little hook is. So when you're reinserting it, you'll be reinserting so that that hook will catch right there. But if you get something pointed and press down on that little hook while you're pulling the wire and pulling the plug the other way while you're pushing down on the pin, you can separate those pins out of this plug. Push down on the hook and pull the pin out. So now you can reuse this if you didn't get a new one. And once you pull the wire, the pins out of the plug, you can pull the PCB board out of the swivel arm and then reinsert your new one. And you'll notice that the colors, they're the same colors. And what's neat about this is that it's not polarity dependent. So it doesn't matter which side you put on the plug, it's going to work anyway. So you'll slide your PCB board back through and do the wires and then reinsert it into your plug, and you'll have to look at your pin and notice which side is flat and has the little raised edge on it. That's going to go inside. And check it, make sure you've got it. It's in there. And then you can put your pieces back on here. This is where your LED is going to be showing, so you know that's going to be sticking out. And at the base of this, there's a little notch at the very bottom where this edge is going to go into that notch, and it's going to keep it steady, and it's going to keep the LED right in the correct spot. So when we're reinserting it, you'll look down there and find where that edge is and reinsert this body in here. Okay. You'll know you've got it if your LED is right in the center of the hole. That means you've got it into the bottom of that notch. And then you can install your sleeve, braking sleeve, your spring, and your screw. Good. Check it, make sure it's hitting the stop. If you didn't have any grease on here, you should use a number 4, a thick grease. And same thing with here. If it doesn't have any grease on it, you should put some number 4 grease, and then put this piece on too. There's the LED. It's going to go right in the center. After you have that, then you can put your sleeve, spring, and screw back in. You can adjust the tension. If you have it put back together and it starts falling, just tighten the screw and it will push that spring into and give you some more tension, so it will be more steady. Okay, once you have that all in there, then it's time to reinstall. Remember, it's going to go in a clockwise position. Make sure it snaps in. And then tighten your screw back up. Check it. And that's how to change the PCB board. You shouldn't have to do it, but sometimes they get burned out. Once again, this is what it's called, Fixation PCB with integrated LED cable. And these are the numbers. It could be either one of these numbers that you have to get. And just remember that it's not polarity dependent, so it doesn't matter which side you have the pins in, it's still going to work. Here's some instructions if that's helpful. And there's the screw, the spring, and the little sleeve, braking sleeve or pin. Same thing on this body. You have a screw, spring, and the pin. And here's your circuit board going down into this groove on the bottom of this base. And their emphasis, make sure this is your path of your cable. Okay. Hope that's helpful.